Hey everyone, I'm Rick Beato. On today's Everything Music, it's What Makes This Song Great, episode 28. The artist is David Bowie and the song is Let's Dance. Let's get started. Let's Dance was the first single from the 1983 David Bowie album of the same name. It was produced by Nile Rodgers and engineered and mixed by Bob Clearmountain. The song also features a solo at the end by guitar legend Stevie Ray Vaughan. There's a great video on YouTube of Nile Rodgers talking about how the song was written. David Bowie played it on a 12-string form at first in the key of A minor, and then he brought it up and played it at the 5th fret with bar chords, and then he moved it up to the key of B flat. And then he did these inversions. You can hear that there's a delay that's panning between the two speakers. It's called a multi-tap delay, and that was actually done by Bob Clearmountain. When Nile Rodgers explains that sound, he says, well, I just played this. And Bob Clearmountain did the rest. Or actually, the delays did the rest. When Nile Rodgers first met David Bowie, the story he tells is that David Bowie and he were talking about jazz a lot. Really, not just straight ahead jazz, but really avant-garde jazz. And when he brought him Let's Dance, he wanted it to be a dance song, but have a jazz element to it. And I remember the first time I heard the song, because of the chord voicings, I didn't realize at the time about Nile Rodgers that he had produced the record, but when I heard this chord, when I heard these first two chords, I said, that's a jazz guitar player, because the only people that play those voicings are guys that listen to Wes Montgomery and Joe Pass, people like that. So those kind of chord voicings are all straight ahead jazz. That's this B flat minor 11 sound, right? And then he goes to this chord. Now, this chord is really an inversion of E flat 9, and it's an inversion that only people that are jazz players will play. So I knew immediately that this was actually, whoever was playing guitar was a jazz guitar player. Just right there, then it goes to there, and then it goes back to B flat minor 7 right there. And these are all jazz player voicings, plus the fact that the progression here, you have B flat minor 11, or you could call it B flat dominant 7 sus 4, but then it goes to a B flat minor 6 chord here, because that's what the bass is playing, but then the bass goes to E flat there, so it really becomes an E flat 9 chord. So this is really just like a 2-5. The first 4 bars are just a 2-5, 2-5, and A flat, but then there's this flat 7 major chord here, and then it goes back up to B flat minor 7. Next, let's take a listen to the beginning of the song. So it starts with a really kind of a twist and shout Beatles vocal entrance, a layered E flat 7 chord. Check it out. So he starts E flat, G, B flat, D flat to give us that chord, which goes to its 2 chord, right there. Here are the guitars and the horns. There's a 4-part horn arrangement, 3 saxes and a trumpet that are playing through an E flat 7 chord. Check it out. Here are the bass and drums doing the build-up at the beginning. The drums are played by Omar Hakim, and the electric bass is played by Carmine Roja. Now, there's actually an electric bass and a keyboard bass in the tune. The keyboard bass is actually going to come in right in the verse. Let's check out the bass and drums. Now, besides the vocal, melody, riffs, guitar solo, another thing that makes the song great is the drum performance and the way it's recorded. Check out the drums by themselves in the verse. You can hear the gated reverb that cuts right off on the next beat. It's a really great sound. Bob Clearmountain was honestly a revolutionary in sound recording in the 80s as far as rock music is concerned. He came up with a lot of miking techniques. He came up with all the mixing techniques that a lot of people copy, like Chris Lord-Alge. He came up with the idea of miking a snare drum with a 57 and a small diaphragm condenser set next to each other to kind of get the smack and the tone of it. A lot of his mixing techniques and the idea of a specialized mixer are because of Bob Clearmountain. In the verse, the keyboard bass takes over for the real bass. Let's check it out with the drums. It's a really killer keyboard bass part. It's really well played. Where it has the pitch bend in the middle of it is great. I mean, it's super tight. The woodblock in the verse, played by Sammy Figueroa, is an answer part to the guitar riff. Both of them have a similar kind of delay. Let's check them out together. Here's the woodblock by itself. Woodblock is super tight with the drums. It really adds to the rhythmic dance element of the track. Okay, let's talk about the entrance of the vocal in the verse. There's a really cool thing that happens with the pickup of the vocal when David Bowie says, "Let's dance." Check it out. So there's a flam kick, bléon, right, that happens. Check it out. I'll play the drums and the vocals. Also, the real bass comes in just for one beat, and it goes back to the keyboard bass.
Dance, dance.
The real bass comes in with a slide. Here it is, listen. Then it goes right back to the keyboard bass. Let me solo the vocals so you can hear what they sound like in the verse.
Put on your red shoes and dance the blues. Let's dance to the song they're playing on the radio.
A lot of delay on the voice, just like on the guitar and the woodblock, whereas the drums are actually very tight. Even though they have the gated reverb on it, the groove is locked down with the drums and the bass, the synth bass, that have really quick attacks and quick releases. But the vocals and guitars and percussion have this lushness to them because of the long delays. It's really a great production technique that, to me, doesn't sound dated at all. It's an incredibly good sounding track. One of my favorite things about the tune are the horn arrangements. Like I said, it's for 3 saxes and a trumpet, and it has all these great answer lines that happen in the verse and in the chorus. But check it out here in the verse. The thing I really like about them is how they work with the guitars. Right here, the guitar answers immediately. Check it out. The same horn line leads us into the next section, da 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 da, to the B section. It goes to A flat major, and then D flat, E flat, D flat, E flat. But the horns actually answer the guitar. Check it out. Then they actually complete da 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 da. In this transition, we also move from the keyboard bass to the electric bass. Check it out. I love the way that it's going between the keyboard bass and the real bass. I think it gives the track a lot more of an organic sound. It sounds real. Everything sounds played, which it is. The second phrase of the B section starts on A flat major, but then pedals between E flat 11 and E flat major. Let's check it out. Here it is. Now we're back to A flat, and here it changes. F minor. Then we're back to the intro build on E flat 7. The ending of this chorus into the interlude section is really killer. Listen to the vocal along with that 4-part stacked E-flat 7 chord. Check it out.
Into my arms, tremble like a flower.
Moving ahead to the end of the next chorus, we have the same sustained note in the vocals by David Bowie, and that leads us into this percussion interlude section that has Sammy Figueroa playing the congas. I want you to check out the congas and the horns, how they work together. It's really great. Check it out.
And tremble like a
That brings us up to the guitar solo with Stevie Ray Vaughan. In 1983, I had never heard of Stevie Ray Vaughan. This is really the first time. David Bowie had actually met him. I believe it was the 1982 Montreux Jazz Festival. He heard him play a set. Bowie heard Stevie Ray Vaughan play a set, and he was floored. And he said, I need to have you come in and play on my next record. This really launched Stevie Ray's career. And I think that he actually wasn't even familiar with Bowie's music that much at the time. I'm going to play the guitar solo. I'm going to add in the rhythm guitars and then some percussion and occasionally one of David Bowie's vocals, just so you know where you are in the tune. But check it out. Great reverb. I know some of you watching this may never have even heard of Stevie Ray Vaughan since he was killed tragically in a helicopter crash in 1990. Here's a little clip of Stevie Ray playing, just so you can kind of get a feel for his presence. Here's vocals. Man. Really hard to believe that they're both gone. Stevie Ray only lived another 6 years after this. That's all for now. Please subscribe here to my Everything Music YouTube channel. If you're interested in the Beato book, you can go to my website at www.rickbeato.com. And don't forget, follow my Instagram, rickbeato1. I'm posting a lot of extra bonus material from these videos and other music-related things. Thanks for watching.